I mean, wicked can just be more than just a word, a descriptor word. Like it can be an
An
actual
adjective.
noun.
Barding. Ah.
These
I don't know
things.
any of these things besides
How
Bree's
do you
hockey
how do you
journey.
We got our first hater the other day.
shout out to my dad?
That made me mad. Now I'm triggered.
Oh, and god damn it. What a pro wants. What a pro wants. Well, I think we should get rolling. What about you guys?
Okay.
Get rolling with what?
With episode 92 of the Bread Loves Hockey podcast. Hey, very nice, Owen. Thank you very much for the setup and the slam dunk, of course.
I was hoping we'd be on episode Landeskog with the Avs still in the playoffs.
Womp womp.
This is episode Landeskog.
It sure is.
Still in his honor, despite his absence from the second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Oh,
Still a nice return story.
bad omen.
Yep.
Bad start to the podcast.
Oh.
The Leafs scored.
Oh, goodness. Yes, we're recording on Wednesday the 7th, so Game 2 is underway right now between Toronto and Florida. We also have Game 1 of the Jets and Stars series later tonight. And the PWHL playoffs are underway tonight with the Minnesota Frost at the Toronto Scepters for their 2-3 matchup. Although, I mean, it's like technically it's not 2-3 because I believe the Victoire, who were the top seed, because they get to pick between the third and the fourth which opponent they selected to charge. I thought that they were third and that Minnesota was fourth. I don't know if I confirmed that, but
I think that's what I read, where the one seed picked 3.
okay. So yeah, technically it's 1-3-2-4, but
Yeah.
yeah. So we've got lots of playoff action going on tonight. We'll maybe get some reactions to some good or bad goals. We're all again on
behind Owen. So
Oh, okay.
I'm always in the front.
So Owen's gonna be our go-to man for any reactions, at least as far as that game.
It's on ESPN, like the TV channel.
So then I can actually not have to watch it using these other means that I may or may not have been using.
Right.
I wouldn't know what you're talking about.
I wouldn't know anything about that either. So I'll keep you guys posted on the Scepters game. I believe they're still up 1-0 at the intermission, the first intermission.
I have that up as well.
Oh, good. And yeah, we're all again rooting for the Panthers in the Toronto series. But last time we were here, we did not know the outcomes of most of the series. I believe the Hurricanes series was the only one that had concluded with their Game 5 victory. So yeah, I guess now we can kind of just discuss how those other series wrapped up and what the picture is looking like for the second round.
Talk about all those losers that I got out in the first round.
Loser. Sorry.
Yeah. Not like those losers that did make the playoffs. I feel so nice to
got
say.
bumped down 2 draft positions.
Yeah. Well, because we can also talk about the draft lottery. Yeah. And the Zane.
We can save that for later. We got playoff hockey. I feel like is at the
We got playoff hockey.
forefront.
It's at the forefront for sure.
Sens lose Game 6. Wah wah. It's sad. But not really, because the team took a giant step. Next year, it'll be sad. This year, I'm proud.
Just happy to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's what you've been saying, for the last couple of months, and I definitely, being in those calls with you, I felt that you were telling the truth. Like, you were still like pretty optimistic after the Leafs were scoring, and I don't know.
3-0.
Yeah, it was unfortunate that they weren't able to get it done, but battled there. Definitely made the Leafs crap their pants a little bit.
Oh, definitely.
We've seen that happen before. Again, Vegas had that scenario before they ended up moving on to the Cup final, so it happens. But the Leafs finally, I guess for the second time, did did something they haven't done in a while. So they are moving on. I think they're definitely the better team on paper. Um, you know, regular season standings and all that. So, it was not like there was a huge shot that Ottawa was going to be able to win, especially after they'd go down early in the series.
Right.
But we were all rooting for it. Small market team. Obviously, we don't care for the Leafs too much, but it would have been also just fun for the Senators fan base who they finally get to see the team in the playoffs. It does hurt when you get in for the first time and then
Just to get bounced.
and then
Yeah.
that's it. So yeah, overall a fun series for sure. We were hoping for 7 because the chaos would have been excellent, win or lose. And now we look towards the off season for the Sens.
Yeah, I think especially you take out game 1 and just like the jitters and the sort of the crazy play that happened and the bad penalties that we took and then the bad penalty goals we gave up. I think if you take that out, we lost 2 overtime games and then won an overtime game and then lost. Oh no, and then won again and then lost.
Yep. Got the
Like
shutout and then lost in game 6.
Did pretty solid as far as like the first test for a lot of these guys. And yeah, I don't think any of them will be harshly judged for their playoff play.
No.
Olmark especially was able to sort of, I think, quiet the doubters, especially with the game 5 shutout. That was huge.
Oh, yeah.
To be able to go in and on the ropes still, right? Be able to pitch a shutout, like that's pretty huge.
I think overall Ottawa definitely did better than most people expected. So like, there's that to look forward to, and then obviously, hopefully build on it next year. But now this team's at the point where it's like you made the playoffs, and like anything less than that would be seen as like a failure. So there's
Oh,
obviously more
absolutely.
pressure on the team now, and
The
I think
bar has risen.
once a team makes the playoffs and like other teams start taking them a little more seriously, like there's probably games during the year where like I don't know, Ottawa went into Tampa and Tampa's like, oh, this is like an easy win and underestimate them or whatever. So
Or
now it's
give
like,
us the second goalie, right? Even if it's just something like that.
sure. So now like you're getting not their best game maybe, but like better games against the opponents that Ottawa's gonna see because like
We're getting Hellebuck, not Comrie.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And then we have goalie news with Toronto too, but I think we'll pause on that and we'll resume later when we get into the previews and the ongoings, I suppose, for these series.
Round.
So the other Atlantic matchup wrapped up fairly quickly. It was actually, I believe, later that night that we had recorded last week that Florida ended up winning in Game 5 and handily defeat the Lightning in what was definitely pretty shocking.
Yeah.
Pun intended. Not
You see the
not a lot
injuries
going on.
that the Lightning announced.
Oh
The
yeah,
whole
I
list.
did see a bit of a laundry list. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
I
gonna
guess
make
it's
it
not
difficult.
an excuse, but like when
To
one
be
of your best
expected.
defensemen are playing on a broken foot, it doesn't
It's hard.
help
Yeah.
you win the series.
Yeah.
But I think even with both teams fully healthy, I still think Florida's a better team. I don't think it's that lopsided go ending in 5, but I still think that Florida wins that series the majority of the time that happens, right? If we can go back and rerun it, right?
Hmm.
They were slumping going into the playoffs. They must have just been saving up some energy because damn, they
And
are on it.
Vasilevsky wasn't playing at Vasilevsky levels.
No.
No, he wasn't. Yeah. Overall disappointment. I picked the Lightning in my bracket, so got that one. I picked Ottawa too. So didn't I actually got all my East picks wrong. In at least in the bracket challenge, I have a couple different ones. So, but in that one, it was pretty rough. So, yeah, that was too bad. I definitely expected a longer series than than it ended up being. Especially, I think didn't the Lightning win Game 1?
I think they did. And then it was Florida, or it was Florida 1, then Tampa 2, and then Florida 3 straight, something like that.
Yeah.
Florida 1 early on, and then Tampa just took them.
Yeah, that is tough to come back from. So, um, we'll see what happens with them. There was some rumors about John Cooper potentially moving on to another organization, and those were pretty quickly quenched. Like they are definitely sticking around, or Cooper's sticking around. He's like, I can't see why I would want to leave.
It doesn't make sense to leave.
It he's treated great there. He's like spoken very highly about the whole organization from ownership down, and had tremendous success there for a long time. I don't see why, Julian Brisebois or I don't remember what the owner's name is, but why they would want to change anything. Just, I mean, yeah, they lost again, but I still think they're competing every year. They had, in my opinion, still another chance to make a cup push this season. At least in the regular season, they looked like, oh great, like here we go, it's Tampa again. So still a lot to be excited about for the next season.
Yeah, I mean their window is definitely getting close to closing, and I'm sure we'll go in depth on like the post mortem of all these teams in the off season. But like they do still have a chance at another cup, so definitely don't like they have a better chance at least than Utah, which is where the rumors were they would go. So,
Right.
Like,
Yeah,
Right.
it didn't seem to add up. It's like I don't I don't see that trajectory for him. So anyways, we'll shift to the let's do the Capitals series. That was also
the
wrapping up.
Montreal.
I think maybe was that the game that we were watching. I think that was the one that was just
Yep, that
wrapping
was.
up. Yeah, so not the Florida one. That was probably like the next day. But yeah, Montreal could not hang on in Game 5 there at home, and
They were another team that was just happy to be there.
very similar position to Ottawa. Of course, they were the wild card 2 team, so um, a little bit harder to get in, of course, and just squeaking in. It was obviously right down to the last game there with Columbus. So, they put up a fight, but I think they lost some pretty close games until I think Game 5 was not close. They were like down 3-0 pretty quickly. They clawed back to 3-2, I want to say, and that was it. So, even younger core than the Sens. You got Demidov in there and Slavkovsky, and still
Hudson.
you've got Hudson as well. Yeah, getting his experience too. So a lot to be excited about. It would have been fun to get a win, get an upset, and maybe see if they can make a real run. But I don't think most Canadians fans were expecting it.
Yeah, I think that was similar to the Ottawa and Toronto series, but even more of a David and Goliath, right? With Washington's maybe uneasy play at the very very end of the season, post like OV celebration hangover, weird Caps time where they lost a couple games and looked really weird, but they have clearly turned it on in the playoffs and figured out whatever it was that was going on. And that, as much as they struggled in round 2, which we'll touch on in game 1, they seem to, for the most part, have a pretty good grip on the Canadiens.
Yep, they did what they had to do to win that series, which is like, you're the number 1 seed in the East. Like, you should win this series. If you just play the game you've been playing, you will win. They didn't falter from that plan, so good for them. I think that's the first playoff series win for Spencer Carberry as well. And the first time that the Capitals have advanced in the playoffs since they won the Cup in 2018. So that's just a big weight off of the fans' shoulders. I'm sure Sam was excited to finally see them do something, making it back into the playoffs. So yeah, they're facing off against the Canes, who we already discussed last week. But yeah, not really a ton to discuss with the Caps, other than yeah, they did what they needed to do to win. They were the better team. That's really all I got on them. We got more to talk about with the second round, anyways. We'll shift to the Western first round matchups with
A lot more interesting.
Yeah. Oh, they were a lot more interesting. I mean,
They were way better.
three 5-game series in the East, and the Ottawa Senators series being the one that goes the closest to Game 7. And then meanwhile, we had 2 Game 7s and 2 Game 6s in the West. Dean, why don't you select where we're going?
Those weren't just Game 7s.
From the first series that ended to the last. So
yeah.
Did Vegas win first, or did the Oilers?
I think it was the Oilers, right?
Oh, well, that's perfect. Then we can just go from the bottom of the bracket to the top.
Nice.
So yeah, Oilers down 2-0 in the series, go and win 4 straight. Pretty neat, and based off of how they've been playing in the first game of round 2, it looks like they've got over their early playoff slump, if you want to call it that.
Well,
the superstars are superstarring. Their backup goalie is playing better than their starting goalie, and if that's the formula that's going to work, then they're going to stick to it. And it's won them 5 games in a row. So.
Yeah, that I feel like at the beginning of that round, like Game 1, Kings win. Even like before Game 2 happened, I feel like at least my feeling and the sort of the sense I was getting from the hockey world was that like, oh, they're purging their demons. The Kings are gonna do it. They've lost to the Oilers over and over and over. They're not gonna do it anymore. They win Game 2. Oh my God, the Kings, they're crushing it. They're gonna lose. Okay, well they're gonna win in 5. The series is tied. Oh, now they're down 3-2, and they've lost.
Bring out the South Korean women. Oh, it doesn't do anything.
It just went downhill so fast from like, and I think that is also they're a weird team in my mind of like where they're at team wise. Like they have some very young, good players, but they still have Anze Kopitar and Drew Doughty, who are fossils out there that are still, I mean, good players, but like over a decade older, to maybe 20 years older than their youngest player. Nah, not quite.
I mean, it's similar to the Capitals, really.
Close. Yeah.
Like how they've got
like
Ovi
Byfield and Brent Clarke and Ryan Leonard and Protas and
very similar setup.
And Kemper, who was great all year and like was a Vezina nominee. And I mean, those Oilers though, they find a way to win.
Brutal if you're a Kings fan. 4th season in a row to lose by them. You didn't get shut out like the formula suggested you would. Nice to see a couple of wins at home if you went to those games, and then obviously it was tough after that.
It's funny because Zach had sent me on Instagram the photo of all the teams that didn't have that had former Bruins on them in the playoffs, and the Kings weren't one of them. He's like, the only team I could see. Zach was like, the only team I could see making it is probably Tampa. I'm like, oh, you don't believe in the Caps? And he was like, no. And then I was like, well, the Kings are looking good. This was after his 2-0. And then like a week later, he reacted with like the shocked emoji. Like,
well, they were looking good, Zach.
They were. I mean, it helps again.
They really were the first 2 games.
It helps when Skinner's letting everything in, and then they're like, maybe we should play Pickard, and then it's like, oh, we're not letting in 6 goals every night. I think we have a chance with our superstar players to win the game, and they got some big goals from some of their depth pieces, which obviously has been a narrative for every season since the dawn of time for the Oilers, because ever since they've had McDavid and Draisaitl, that's been the issue. But they did get some big goals. I think Connor Brown has a couple goals already in the playoffs. Scored last night, but anyways.
We'll get there.
Corey Perry, I know. Jan Mark with a big goal. I think he had a game-winning goal in that Kings series. So, yeah, they're firing on all cylinders. They're oiled up, I guess, and they're looking okay for.
They're looking shiny.
Yeah, looking shiny for the matchup against a shiny opponent in the Vegas Golden Knights, who also move on.
Your Vegas Golden Knights defeat the coolest logoed team in hockey in 6.
And the Wild also did better than I expected, the one who predicted the
I
sweep. But
Also predicted a sweep.
I think it helped having their kind of superstars step up.
Show up. Yeah, play.
Dude,
and play really well.
Kaprizov and Boldy, man, whoo, they were scary. Like, they just lit the lamp every single game. It's like, oh, another 3-point night for Kaprizov, another 4-point night for Boldy. Like,
They're
man,
really good.
that is scary. And obviously, they do not have a major burden with the cap penalty for the buyouts next season. It drops from 14.7 to like 1.3 or something like that.
Whoa, so much more manageable.
It's like,
You're gonna have to
okay,
pay Kaprizov like $15 million though.
yeah, he might become like the highest paid player, but I think Minnesota's willing to pay that because they have not had a Kaprizov in their entire existence as a franchise. Like, I think they're gonna go ahead and lock that up. But yeah, overall they did great, even though they weren't able to get it done. They had a close overtime. Actually, they had 2 overtime losses in this series, and then they weren't able to get it done at home. I don't remember. Actually, I don't remember the final score. I don't think it was a very close game. So, yep. Obviously happy for Vegas, but Dean, I felt like you had something to say for the Wild there.
I don't remember.
Oh, sorry.
I might have been more Kaprizov stuff. Again, we'll break that down in the off season.
Yeah. Owen, any other thoughts on the Minnesota Wild's performance, or feel free to say anything about Vegas too?
I'm not gonna lie.
Lose in round 2.
I don't think I saw a single game of that series.
Yeah. I mean,
I was a little distracted during the first round.
Yeah, I get
so
you.
late. Who can stay up?
And that too.
Come on, guys. Mountain time over here is like, oh no, an 11 o'clock start when it's really 9 o'clock for them. Like, that's baby talk. Come on, guys.
The game's gonna be done at like 11:30. I can't stay up that long.
We do the opposite. We have to get East Coast teams so we can watch our games at 5.
Yeah, it's so nice. I'm scared if I move to Pacific time, I'm gonna have an East Coast team. I'm gonna have games starting at 4.
Yeah.
Game starting at 4 is too early.
Yeah, it's like, I'm actually.
You have to wait. You're gonna set an alarm to watch football on Sundays.
Yeah.
Don't watch football on Sundays.
Owen
I'm sorry, I'm not a true enough American for that. I do have to set an alarm for F1 though, and
that's what 10 a.m.
Oh god.
It changes every weekend. It's bullshit hours every single time.
For football in Pacific time.
Football Pacific time. Yeah, it's 10 a.m. start, which is wild.
Yeah,
strange. Then, like, even Monday Night Football, you're done by like 9.
Oh, if that. 7:30.
Yeah.
Speaking of Mountain Time.
Speaking of Mountain Time,
let's move on. I guess we'll get Vegas stuff later.
The mountainous place of Winnipeg. No, Dallas, I guess, was the next shortest.
Yeah.
The mountainous place of Dallas, Texas.
Yeah, that one goes 7. Avs have the 2-0 lead going into the third.
Yeah.
And their arch nemesis, Mikko Rantanen, with a hat trick for the 4-2 victory. And I still think this series could have been the Stanley Cup final.
It was a great series, obviously.
Yeah.
If the next series isn't the Stanley Cup final, because the next one we talk about was also amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
For a different reason, though.
we'll get there in a second. But yeah, I mean, I think Dallas is going to the finals now.
They're so good.
And Robertson should be back soon, and I think
Heiskanen.
Heiskanen is still like, I think is he ruled out for this round too, or it seems like he's still not that close. But
I
you
haven't
getting one of
heard.
them back would even be a big help. But yeah, I mean, I think they're gonna roll over Winnipeg, but we shall see.
Tough for the Avalanche, of course.
Tough.
Having the lead away in Game 7, you didn't let in a goal until kind of late in the third period. Like that is really really difficult.
Yeah.
And it didn't even get to overtime. Like you let one in with like 3 minutes left, and then that was the Wyatt Johnston goal where he's got the
Johnston.
crazy angle. He had like a couple game winners
So
or
good.
series winners because he also scored the game winning goal in Game 7 against Seattle a couple seasons ago. So he's been
really
pretty clutch in Game 7s in his young career already. I still can't believe when I saw what he was trying to go for, I was like, oh my god. Reaction, Owen? Something happened?
What dropped?
Dean's
Second period.
favorite Panther.
Oh no.
Pots it in.
Suspended.
What? No, your favorite Panther.
Sam Bennett.
Oh, my actual favorite.
Your
Panther.
actual favorite
I thought you
Panther.
were being sarcastic. Oh,
It's
the
Marshy.
dangle. Nice.
Marshy with a wicked backhand.
Let's
Makes
go.
it 2-1. Like, this is a dirty backhand.
Yeah.
Wow, that was pretty early in the period.
Wall
15 seconds
goes
in.
Nothing about it.
Damn.
Great pass from Lundell, it looks like.
I guess while watching these replays, since I have boots on the ground in Denver, the other thing I've been hearing about is fire Bednar, blow it up. And I'm like, I think it's an overreaction for a team that has Makar and McKinnon.
Yeah.
Every year, I think since you won the cup, which was 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Right.
I thought other Boston was bad about their fans being get to blow it up, but
Yeah.
I guess all teams, especially if you have a big loss, like a Game 7 loss, the way they lost. I understand being a little emotional, but I'm come on. It's even it's not just people on Reddit or Twitter that's valid. I
It's
guess
like
Well, not
human
valid,
people,
but
real
understandable.
people.
But analysts and
Actual
beat
journalists
writers are they should fire Jared Bednar. It's
calling
okay.
for heads.
It's like, wait,
Yeah.
you're serious? I thought this was all like a meme.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I think they keep Bednar around at least another year. But this core has an expiration date. Nathan McKinnon is not getting any younger. You want this team to be able to compete, and if you think that bringing a new voice into the locker room can change something, if you think something needs to be changed,
Scepter's
yeah, I
just
just saw that
scored.
too, Brandon. Yeah,
2-0.
we're on time for that. Then maybe moving Bednar's the answer, but for now it doesn't seem like there's a lack of coaching or player buy-in or it's a really good team that plays really good hockey and went up against a slightly better team playing slightly better hockey, and it showed in a barely losing in Game 7.
Yeah.
It's just like you said, Dean. Could have been a Stanley Cup final. Those were two very, very good teams, better than probably a few of the other
Teams
first
that moved
round
on.
teams.
Yeah.
I think you could say the Avs are better than a couple of the the rest of these teams.
All the Eastern teams that lost, basically. Actually, probably. You could debate it with the Lightning, but
I'm gonna say maybe even better than some of the Eastern teams that won, Brendan.
Right? Yeah. Well, sure, you could say that.
I would take the Colorado in a 7-game series against the Leafs right now. Hands down.
Yeah, or the Caps.
Probably the Caps or the Canes even.
I forget who on Dallas said it, in an interview after. They're yeah, this might be the hardest team we play this whole playoffs.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right, it's smooth sailing from here.
Yeah. Either of those teams, you make it through that series, you gotta be confident. right? Like,
That's what I was saying before the playoffs started. I'm like, whatever team I have winning this series, I'm having them like basically. Well, I said that, but then I had them losing to Vegas, so we'll see. But
Hmm.
um, it seems like they have a pretty clear path to the cup.
But
yeah, I
speak,
like Vegas obviously for Brendan, but
I don't.
I don't know. I don't believe
hey,
in him. I just don't. I don't believe in that team. I love Mark Stone. It just, I don't know,
2 goals last night.
unconvincing. Yeah, thank you, Fantasy Mark Stone. Appreciate
Hmm.
it.
But yeah, speaking of teams that could be propelled with a Game 7 victory, are the Winnipeg Jets
Yeah.
clutch over the St. Louis Blues in Game 7.
God.
It was
Ugh,
so
gives me chills still now.
Dean wasn't able to catch that game, unfortunately.
What?
And I was at a
Dude, that was one of the
concert.
best games of hockey I've seen in a
It
while.
was
I was
so
trying to
good.
stream it in between bands, but when you're surrounded by
Oh,
500 people, service isn't great.
yeah.
So I was like just refreshing the app.
Yeah.
And
It
I mean, I saw
was
the text, so I knew something happened. I was like, oh, 1.5 seconds left, tie and goal. That's crazy. And
no,
then
but it
put one
wasn't
in
even that. It
overtime.
was the minute 59 goal to make it 2 down, and then
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh god, and the Jets just looking like dog shit for what, 58 minutes more or less.
They looked pretty bad. I mean, like they immediately were down 2-0. Like immediately. It
Yeah,
was like that you just turned the game on and the score said 2-0.
yeah.
It was like
And then
this
it was
is
just
just
it
brutal.
wasn't too bad, but it was just like a boring, like, the rest of the game I feel like wasn't that interesting, and then the Jets decided right at the very end, in just the scrambliest scramble to make it happen. Like
Yeah.
that final goal with the fan on the shot, and
Oh.
then the slap pass, and then the slap pass, and the perfetti tip, and then the next 50 minutes of nothing,
Yeah.
and
I mean, I feel
and
like
then they
the,
score another goal.
the balls you gotta have to like go for that pass with 3 seconds left instead of just shooting it.
Oh,
If
Oh
that does
my
not pay
god.
yeah.
off, you're getting roasted.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the first he went to, so whoever was up in the point, I think it was Ehlers, went to like
Yeah.
slap it
Yeah, it
in,
was Ehlers.
whiffed on it. It like barely trickled down. He got it passed back, and then he goes for it again. It's like, what the hell is he doing? And then he slap passes it across. It's like, what the hell is he doing? And then it comes right back to the, oh god,
Well,
crazy play.
Ehlers had the yips in that for most of that game. I noticed because
Just
there were like
fumbling it.
some really weird and like the game or the third goal for the Blues was because he like fumbled a play on the boards and then it turned into a 2-on-1 and and the goal that Hellebuck let in was absolutely terrible. Also, it was like right over right under his glove. It was like somewhere in relation with his glove, which it was a whole issue, high glove, the whole
How did they get so far
series.
behind Owen? What the heck?
Uh,
Um, but
freaking Willie Styles.
let's go.
Yeah, I
Ugh.
know
Good for
like
my
a lot of the
pool.
analysts were talking about how when it was 2-0, like when do you pull Hellebuck? Like if he doesn't
Yeah,
win more, or like right now, it's
yeah.
like your season's on the line. But didn't matter. He
They
played good
kept
enough
him
for them to
in.
go move on. So maybe that's enough
Right.
for him to start playing better.
I-
Get rid of
He
his
got
yips.
pulled twice. He got pulled twice
Yeah,
as the hands down Vesna winner this
Three
year, right?
times he got pulled.
3 times?
He got pulled
Three
in
times he
all of
got pulled.
the away games.
Oh, right.
well, the other thing is this
Wild.
game was at home, right? So
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah.
we don't know how he is on the road. But I mean,
Ah,
this series should not have gone 7. Like it's great they won in
yeah.
Game 7, but like the Blues aren't that good of a team. Like they should have.
They're maybe not that skilled of a team, but they were playing very good hockey. Like, coming down the stretch, that team was on fire. They had all the motivation in the world. Like, I guess I'm not too surprised that it became a tight series with the way that they were playing going into it.
I think I had it going 7 in my bracket. That was one of the two matchups that I got right was Winnipeg and Vegas moving on. So,
We were
Nice.
2 seconds away from being wrong about it.
yeah,
Yeah.
dude, I don't think I've ever popped off that much for a goal, and I've seen some clutch Vegas goals too. Like,
Right.
I mean, maybe for some of like the Vegas OT goals, I've been pretty crazy, but like,
I mean, there's
I
never been a
couldn't
playoff
believe
game
it.
where a team's been less than 2 seconds from losing the entire series
It's
Oh my
never
in order
happened.
god.
to
Yeah,
keep their hopes alive.
it was it, and like obviously I was
Ugh.
rooting for Winnipeg. I thought they would be a really fun team this year to
Yeah.
get a deep run. So it was just I just couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my god, like they actually did it, and
They did it.
then they didn't blow it in overtime
Right, right.
or second overtime.
Oh god, yeah. The whole series of events of like there is literally no hope to they scored a goal and there's like no time left. Like that's not gonna happen to what the fuck to they're definitely gonna blow this to ah the entire city is leapt off the ground.
Yeah, and Hellebuck has said, the weight is kind of off his shoulders with that Game 7 win. We'll see. Obviously they're gonna play tonight. How that game goes. They do have home
Mm-hmm.
ice advantage in that one as well, so they would be playing at home in Game 7 again if we get
They have it
that.
in all of them. That's what happens when you win the President's Trophy.
Yeah, it
That is
helps.
what happens.
They
Hey,
they earned
he
that.
just needs to win the games at home, and they will win the cup. If
Yeah.
he can only win games at home and win every game at home, it won't
It's
matter.
fine, and it will make for a crazy run. They went
Oh,
7 in
Has
every
any,
single series, and they
I
look
wonder if any
terrible.
Ooh.
team's ever done that. Just won the cup and played 28 games.
The maximum amount of hockey.
I feel
Yeah,
like
just
I've
like I don't
looked
think
that
there's
up,
anybody who's
and
played
no.
14. I don't think there's anybody who's played 28,
I'm
right?
pretty sure the answer is no. Like I think I've looked at it, like to see how many. I think there was like 2 7s and 2 6s. I want to say.
Yeah.
That's still a lot of
I
hockey.
mean, maybe that was only for teams that won the cup. It's possible that it
True, I
was
guess you could go 7 and then
and
lose in
lose.
the last
Uh,
game
Like
7.
you won 3 Game 7s.
Oh.
You won 3 Game 7s, and then the most important one you lose. That would
You
be
just can't do it.
that would
Oh,
just be torture. It sounds like something the Buffalo Sabres would do.
it does.
Uh,
If they can make it.
yeah.
Again,
Um,
I made it
so
once.
that's our wrap up for round 1, and now I guess we're underway for round 2. We've already seen
happening.
the Canes get a clutch overtime win. I wasn't able to watch that game
Crazy game.
because I was at a concert this time, so I couldn't see that game or the Vegas game last night. So I saw we were up 2-0, and then it did not look as good after that, unfortunately. But Jacob Sullivan gets the overtime winner. People who saw the
Fluky
game, your
shot.
thoughts on the game?
It was not a good game for the Caps. The Caps were up 1-0 for most of the game, and they played terribly. They were getting hemmed in. The Canes weren't taking the greatest, like the highest danger shots, but the chances were 90-30 at the end.
Whew.
Yeah, the Canes just like blew the roof off the place. Tied it up semi late and went to OT, and like you said, Slavin did it, and like a kind of a weird bouncer, I think, as the last goal. Both goalies looked pretty good. Thompson especially, right, with however many saves he had. Washington also with like 30 plus blocks as a team, which is wild.
Yeah, I was gonna say the
Wow,
shots were
attempts then.
33-14 Carolina, and that's with Washington
In
having
overtime,
32
too.
block shots.
Yeah.
Ooh, man. Yeah, that outlines it right there. So not a great start for the home team, and
No.
going to be a critical game too. We'll see. I wonder if Sam is going to end up going to any round 2 games, or if he did say that they're not going to move on. So he's probably like, I don't know if I really want, especially after losing game 1.
Yeah. I think depending on the health of Freddie Anderson, if he can stay healthy and playing, I think the Canes take this relatively easily.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as they can solve Thompson, it's going to be fine. If he continues to stand on his head and make a whole bunch of saves, and the Caps team tries to bail him out and makes 30-plus blocks every night, they might be able to make a series of it. But yeah, if Game 1 is any indication, doesn't look likely. But the LA series started out that way, and we saw that ended. So
We could be talking about a much different series next week.
you never know. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, Carolina outshot them and outhit them, which is something like Elliot Friedman pointed out, which is interesting because obviously normally you outhit a team if they have the puck more than you. So it's like
Right.
kind of weird that like all the categories they were outplayed in,
Yeah. Other than blocking shots,
other than blocking shots. Yeah.
because the Caps only had 14 shots on goal.
Yeah, unacceptable. So
Yeah,
hopefully they
just not a good enough performance
crack it
out
up.
of the Caps, and I
Yep.
think they knew that. It was Protoss with the goal, right?
Yep.
Alexei,
First of
his
the playoffs.
first of the playoffs.
Yep. So that's, I mean, yes, good for him. Good for the Caps to get him started. He's going to need to contribute if they're going to get past the Canes. The Canes are deep enough that they have plenty of people that will score for them.
And they're healthy for once in the playoffs.
They're healthy for once, which is scary.
So let's, I guess, shift to the series going on right now, the Florida and Toronto series. So Toronto wins a clutch game 1, 5-4. They did let in a 6-on-5 goal, and it looked kind of close, like Florida was going to tie it, but they end up not being able to get the final tie-breaking goal, or not tie-breaking, tie-making, I guess. Yeah, the
Tying.
tire, and so they lose that one, and now they are tied in the second period of game 2. So
And it looks like we have some rough stuff
tighten it.
starting. Game 1 seemed very close for the most part. Game 2 is seeming much the same. It's a Leafs team that everybody knows is very good, but mentally fragile, that is proving to be kind of tough. And it's a Florida team that everyone's scared of because they're really freaking good. And they dispatched Tampa like nothing.
Well, when
It's going to
you
be
hit
interesting.
everybody, until they
Yeah, well,
get injured, it helps.
we only hit players who have the puck.
Right.
But in the head with elbows.
Yeah, the big
Right.
distinction between game 1 and game 2 being that Stolars is not dressed. Matt Murray backing
Sam
up Joseph
Bennett
Wool.
is
Yeah, Sam Bennett
And
did
Bennett
not
in the game.
receive any suspensions or fines for the hit there. So he elbows Stolars right in the head, and he ends up going down. He throws up on the bench, and yeah, he gets pulled from the game.
I
and he
saw
got like stretchered off. Like, and he was hospitalized too.
He
he was
was.
hospitalized.
It's
I
Not
pretty
saw
taking
like
like
serious.
one of
stretchered
those
behind the scenes.
doctors reviewing sports injuries videos of this one, and he had a couple of ideas, including like because he got hit on the side, it could be like an inner ear like nausea thing. Because typically, if you're because they said he was throwing up multiple times, the alternative is like if you're throwing up that much, you have like a brain bleed, and that is a lot less common, especially with the nature of injury and like the force on impact. And yeah, there's some whipping back and forth, which will lead to some concussion symptoms of like as the brain stretches, but there wasn't a heavy like slam, right? It was more of like a hit and twist.
Yep.
Um, Hopefully he's fine and he can come back by the end of the series. You know, I never want to see anyone get hurt, like Evan Rodriguez, who got boarded and left the game just now.
Oh.
But it is the nature of the sport, right? And players are going hard. It did not. It's one of those things. He didn't try to hit him, but he also didn't try not to hit him.
Yeah. Like he
You don't
says
give a
he's
player
going
like
for the
that the
puck.
benefit of the doubt. It's tough. Like, yeah, it doesn't look like much, like on the replay, especially people are talking about how the ref didn't see much because from the ref's angle, it looked pretty like subtle, I guess. But
Mm-hmm.
again, it's like knowing who the player is and how many people he's elbowed in the head. You're like,
Yeah, and I think that like also the way that he was holding his stick really made it like where there wasn't a reason for him to be having his elbow out in that position. Like if he is going across the crease to try to like pursue a puck, like why would you have like I don't know why you would have your hand or your arm in that position. Like I don't know. To me, it seems like something that you should have known to avoid, um, because you know that you're coming right next to the like you. He's right there. Like Stolars is right in the top of the crease. So
He
And
knows
he
where the
did
goal
skate.
is.
He
yeah,
skated into the crease too. Like it's not like
Yeah.
Stolars was
Yeah.
outside where he could have gotten like hit or whatever. He was where he should be and where you should be safe from getting run into.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. In my opinion, I think it did deserve some discipline, whether it
Should
be
have at least been a goalie interference penalty.
a ban.
I
Yeah,
I think it
yeah.
should have been an in-game penalty. I think is ultimately what it should have been. The injury is unfortunate, but I don't think it is by the excess of force.
Yeah, you shouldn't suspend based off the result, but
Right.
I get.
in
Yeah,
my
you're. I
opinion,
guess I'm with you there. Yeah.
'cause, yeah, the hit didn't look that bad.
Right. Right. But it also wasn't a legal hockey play, right?
Yeah,
Like you can't just go into
he ran into the
the
goalie in the crease. Yeah, it should just
right.
be like
Even if his elbow hit his shoulder or whatever, right,
yeah,
knocked him over, right, that should still be a goalie interference penalty because you're in the crease hitting the goalie.
Yep. Yeah.
But because there wasn't a shot on net at the time, it doesn't matter.
So luckily, Toronto comes out unscathed, and they do win the game.
except for the
And
goalie injury.
Well,
well,
yeah.
I mean, in terms of the record, but yes, they did. They did lose the goalie there. Wool has started in the playoffs before, so he does have some experience. He did obviously finish out that game, and we'll see if Matt Murray needs to be called upon at all. Hopefully not, and we don't see any more injuries. I mean, maybe if Wool gets pulled, I guess, but I'd say probably not going to happen. So, yeah, it's going to be probably a tight series. It's going to be obviously a physical series. Toronto's physical too. Um, and I think it would be fun to see this one go the distance. I don't know if it will, but it's looking, yeah, again, pretty close right now.
And with that, Evan Rodriguez boarding, we were getting a 2-minute power play.
Oh, okay. Power play, middle of the second period or so.
Mm-hmm. None of the West second round has started yet, right?
Vegas played last night.
Oh, right, they did, and we talked about it, or we're about to. We
We've
mentioned
mentioned it.
briefly.
We've
Right this
mentioned it a
second.
couple times. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, wonderful transition. Stoner, 2 goals. Really early in the game. It was going great for the Knights.
Then it wasn't.
What happened? What
Then I
happened?
turned the game off, and I was like,
It was
okay,
bedtime.
Oh.
it's
And then I
time to go
woke
to
up.
bed.
And I
I
was
don't
like,
want to
oh,
watch
the
this game
Oilers
anymore.
won. Neat.
Yeah, I then literally woke up, checked it, and I was like, Oilers won 4-2? Oh,
Yeah.
that sucks for Brendan.
I
Yeah.
assume you watched the highlights, Brendan.
No.
Okay,
I
now
don't.
on to the next game.
I don't fuck with the losing highlights. I don't watch those. Like I really don't. I'm like, nope, don't care. You didn't win the game. Doesn't matter what
You
you
don't want
did.
to know what happened.
Nah, I don't care.
You don't want to just get angry at random players on your team.
Nope, screw it. Game's gonna be played tomorrow. So
Yeah.
Right.
like that's the mindset that the players have. I think Saad had an interview. It's like, yep, like we definitely let that one go. It was a late goal in the third period to take the lead, and so it hurts. It hurts to give that one up at home, but you just gotta deal with it and go on to the next game. Like we're still gonna play our game. We shouldn't let that one go, but we're not like we're unfazed. So
Yeah.
Well, you weren't gonna sweep them, so.
probably not. We last time we played, we did go to game 6, so I expect this one to be another tight knit series. I was expecting to be playing the Kings, so I don't know what to expect. I was thinking that the Oilers would be an easier out, and now I think I'm not so sure because obviously
So we
Pickard
want
is different.
Florida, similar situation from Was that last year, 2 years
Yeah,
ago?
yeah.
Yeah.
I guess so. I mean, you're gonna have to beat anybody, so it's like, does it really matter? But
Yeah.
I thought that we would have matched up poorly against the Kings. We'll never know. But yeah, that series, again, all of them are pretty new, and we haven't even had the puck drop for Game 1 of the Jets Dallas series, so we don't have anything that has happened yet to discuss. But we do have some predictions, I guess. I don't know. Dean seemed pretty confident that Dallas was going to be able to ride the wave of their Game 7 and move on.
I think this is I don't know if this would be a hot take or not, but Dallas wins both their games at home. Game.
I don't think that's
I
that
guess
hot of
that
a
would
take.
be Game 3 and 4, so it'd be a while.
They've looked great
I
at
bet
home.
I bet Winnipeg wins one of the first 2 games, and then it's 3-1.
Yeah, so
I
like
don't know.
maybe they
You can see
maybe
that.
a 5-game series, maybe a 6, but definitely not a 7.
okay. Well,
Heard it here
Dallas in
first.
5 or 6,
Or 7. Or 4.
not 7, maybe 4.
oof, 4 would be tough.
You barely claw your way out of a Game 7 just to get swept.
Yeah.
It's happened to someone, I
It's
bet.
happened.
Probably.
Trying to think if that happened to the.
Almost the Leafs.
Oh yeah, almost. Pretty close. They got the gentlemen's.
Yeah.
Owen, any predictions for this Jets Stars series?
Yeah, probably some good Stars hockey. I would be surprised if the Jets pull this one off. I think the Stars are as significantly better than the Blues.
Yeah.
Is
have
how
to
I
agree
would
with
how I
that.
would phrase the whole thing. And I think with that information, we can probably extrapolate what's going to happen.
Yep, but yeah, you never know what can happen during the course of a series. You know, a player
Absolutely. Still
goes
got to play the
down,
games.
or bad penalty at a bad time ends up costing you a really tight game type of thing. So the Jets are going to need the full force of the whiteout here against a tough opponent in the Dallas Stars. I'm pushing for Winnipeg again. I think it would be fun to see them go on another deep run. They've never made the finals. They've only made one conference final, and we beat them last time. So if we make it, then hopefully we repeat history. But we're getting ahead of ourselves there. So I guess that's what we got.
It's the playoffs so far.
And then we've got the PWHL playoffs going on too.
Yeah, small
And also,
PWHL
I'm
playoff
first in the
update.
in the bracket challenge.
Of course.
Oh yeah. You know what? We'll wrap up that talk first, and then we'll go to the PWHL stuff. So, because we've got so many things going on, we've got the bracket challenge.
Busy time.
The Bread Loves Hockey Podcast 2025 bracket challenge, and Dean apparently is leading the way with his perfect bracket as far as picking opponents. Pretty good.
The Bread one was on NHL.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brendan's near the top of the hockey pool, so
That's true.
Owen and I are not near the top.
I'm at the bottom of everything right now.
My dad is in second.
I'm doing
I didn't
poorly.
even notice that. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, he's doing good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bread's Toasties hanging in there at 5th place. And
I'm in 22nd. Owen is in 26th.
out of 28. Just to give a frame of reference of how we're doing here. What? Do you guys have anybody playing tonight? I'd imagine.
I don't.
Oh yeah, we both have Rantanen.
I picked up Rantanen.
That could be a big one.
too.
So yeah, Dean, you're ranked 1 in the NHL thing, right?
Mm-hmm. I also have Marner playing right now.
I'm ranked 497,534.
Wow.
Just as good.
My max is only 174. My total points are only 49.
I didn't pick any
I
Florida players because I didn't know who would win that series. So I only picked Kucherov, which did not help me much.
Yeah, Kucherov
Yeah,
was a
all my
bummer.
players are still in, which is good because I dropped Kucherov for Branson in.
I went 50-50 in my first round. That's not great.
Better than I did.
Yeah.
And then are we all in the ESPN bracket with Zach?
I'm not. I didn't pay for that.
You're not in that one, okay. My bracket is not going to move on. I picked the Avs to win, and it was pretty broken pretty quickly, so that one's done.
Yeah, I'm tied for first with two people who both have the same exact bracket. They have Dallas winning the whole thing over Florida, which again is like looking at it now is probably what I would have. But I have Toronto beating Vegas in the final. But they both picked Capitals over the Hurricanes, which is interesting. So hopefully I can get some points if that's right for me. So we shall see.
Looking good.
But that means it's still you have to root for the Leafs, Dean.
No, I'm rooting for Florida. I don't care about my bracket.
Okay, good.
It's just $20.
Well, I'm rooting for Florida at least to win this round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I don't want to root for either of them. I'm rooting for Edmonton. Yeah. Sorry, Brendan.
What's done is done. The
shame. So we talked about this the other day. Like, the Capitals don't interest me. I don't like the Hurricanes. The Golden Knights, why would I like the Golden Knights?
Hello.
Because of Brendan.
Go Knights.
That's the only reason I like them.
Gold, baby, gold.
Can't root for the Stars now. The Jets are kind of boring.
Can't root for the Stars now. It's over for the
Oilers,
Stars.
It is.
Well, I like the Canes.
Go McDavid.
I'm really only pushing for Vegas and Winnipeg, which is not good because, obviously there's no Eastern team there, and they could both just lose this next round, and then it's like, shit.
Or have to play each other.
Also true, if they win, then...
You for then.
Yeah, my allegiance will not be tested. I will definitely be pulling for Vegas.
Were you rooting for Winnipeg?
Bree, well, she already got the prediction, so I think she's... And it's like, Columbus isn't here. I think she's just rooting for Vegas.
Back to Vegas.
Yeah. Back to my roots. So, yeah, that would be fun again. And I would be happy for Jets fans if we lost to them and they made their first cup final. I would still be disappointed. Cool. But it would be nice to see them have another Canadian team in, have a chance, because... the league loves that, like having all the extra eyeballs in Canada on the finals when usually the fans are just stewing because none of their teams are in.
Have the Jets won a cup?
No,
they've never made it to
a final.
Jets Panthers could be the first. Or what was my prediction with?
Well, Panthers already won.
Yeah.
So the Jets are the only team left that have never won.
Yeah.
That what my prediction was for 2029 in the lore, Canucks Panthers would be.
Oh, 2029.
I don't remember what that prediction was even about. That was something to do with cups.
Yeah, I think because Florida hadn't won yet when I think this was in the off season of 2023 maybe, or during the season before they won the cup. Oh, I don't like that face Owen's making.
Owen on Jack Hughes did not get 150 points this year.
Yeah, no. Oh, Nylander again.
No, it's Domi.
Oh.
I don't like him.
Oh, why did my topics close again?
I'll still keep my prediction. Canucks Panthers 2020.
Yeah, why not? And I guess Brendan says we all live on moon by 2070. I guess we'll keep that.
Wait.
Even though I never really said that.
No, you absolutely did, because we were talking about different places to have the outdoor game, and you said on the moon in 2070. I said, what? And you said, yeah, we'll be living there.
I was just joking, though.
Nope, you said we're living on the moon by 2070. Not us, but just people.
Yeah,
I guess
somebody.
The other lore thing I had, Mike Sullivan would join the Bruins, which it started looking pretty good because the Bruins need a coach. Mike Sullivan got fired, and I was like, oh, this could actually happen. But the Rangers scoop him up. I think Sullivan is now the highest paid coach based off AAV because Babcock with Toronto was the
Oh,
highest paid as far as like overall, but as
Mm,
far as AAV, I think Sullivan has now passed that.
huh.
which the Rangers don't care about that. They got
They got
lots of
money.
money,
Yep.
just like the Leafs.
Bruins have money. They just don't like to spend it.
Yeah. Well, that's gonna make it tough to get somebody then. But yeah, we talked
Yeah.
about the potential conflict of interest there with, you know, uh, McAvoy being his son-in-law. So that doesn't end up happening. They do, or he does end up joining the Rangers. So we'll see what he brings for that team. I think there were a lot of locker room concerns at the beginning of the season, and why they end up making the JT Miller acquisition to try to course correct a little bit when the season was spiraling. They don't end up making it, and so yeah, big shakeup needed. I think he should bring some stability. Obviously, had a lot of success for a long time with Pittsburgh before they stopped winning playoff series, but they got a couple cups along the way. So I think
They did.
that's still something to be excited about as a Rangers fan, even though we're getting further away from those. I don't think he can't do it again. Like I don't think anybody's would be saying that. So yeah, it's exciting. Sorry, Bruins fans and Dean, that you don't get them, but we'll see. Still, lots of vacancies and lots of potential roles to fill at.
But no David Carl either. Not that he was going to come to Boston.
No, that I
He
don't think that was
signed
one
an
of the
extension with
options.
Denver, so he will be staying there, and I assume that's a very lucrative deal as well.
Yeah,
You would imagine so.
especially when like he actually did have a couple interviews with NHL clubs. Like you're starting to sweat it a little bit as the university. You're like, oh, like is he kind of serious about maybe leaving this time? Like I don't know. And so use it as
Weighing his
leverage to get
options.
some more money. And I think that's ultimately probably what Carl wanted, unless he heard like an offer that he couldn't refuse from one of the NHL clubs. Just again, we've touched on it. The stability of being at the university, where it's so less likely that you're going to be let go after a bad season
I
or a
mean,
bad
especially
playoff
him, he has a job
performance.
there for life.
Yeah, like he's had multiple championship teams. They didn't make the finals this past season, but they had another good run where they made it to the final four, and they lose to the eventual champions too.
Hmm.
So
In overtime, right? It was like a 1 goal game.
yeah, it was a 1 goal game. I think it was 4-3. I don't know if it was
Oh,
overtime or not, but yeah, tough one for that season. But again, still a lot of success with Carl behind the bench. So not surprised that continues. That was my prediction, was that he wasn't gonna leave, and I'd say that's probably gonna be true for a while now.
Yeah. Well, it was a multi-year extension. I mean, they're like a private school or whatever. I
Yeah,
forget
I didn't
exactly how it
see.
works. Like the details of the contract didn't come out, but I think they did say like multi-year.
Yep. Dean, did you? So did this Owen knows the Sens will finish at least fifth in the division? Was that an actual bet that you guys had, or was it just
not
No,
this year.
he just put down the bets
oh? So
For the last 3 years,
and taking Owen's money. And this year, I'm
he's been
like, nah,
taking
I'm
my
good.
money
yeah,
as I bet him that the Sens are gonna make the playoffs, and then this
he
year I
bails.
try, and Dean says no. Ugh. I should have signed a multi-year contract with Dean
Yeah.
that we have to bet it every year.
I don't
Maybe they
think
can come
Dean
up
would
with a
have
bet
signed
this
that.
off season. Maybe like Boston will finish higher than Ottawa or something like that.
Yeah, like
There you go.
if over the next X consecutive years Boston finishes over Ottawa, then
Well, that the trend
Owen
doesn't
knows
help, is not in
Dean.
my favor, but maybe
No.
one more year I could squeeze out just a little bounce back for the Bruins, and then a little, I don't know, drop off for the Sens or
A little
something.
something something.
Yeah.
Yeah, next year I think if the Sens are not above the Bruins, there are some not great
What if the
things that are
Bruins are
happening.
like second in the division?
Whoa.
That
How'd we get there, Dean?
yeah, what happened
The
to
seventh overall
Florida?
pick we're gonna get this year is gonna
Oh
be
yeah.
so good.
Okay, better
Wow.
than Kucherov, better than
Yeah.
Matt
I
Kachuk.
mean, not that
Speaking
many
of,
seventh overall players like play for the club the first season too. Like, do
No.
you
this
think?
draft is specifically, most of the players aren't gonna play this year.
Yeah.
Like probably Schaefer and maybe Higgins, but like
Maybe.
besides that, I don't know. I guess you want to talk about the draft lottery and how we felt about that.
Well, I wanted to quickly before we. I mean, I guess we're already in NHL stuff that's not playoffs, but if we wanted to touch on the PWHL playoffs quickly,
Mm.
because that has now gotten underway again, like we
It
mentioned.
has started
Um, so
rather one-sided.
it was an interesting Saturday for the PWHL. We had the triple header to decide the final two spots. Um, Ottawa ends up getting it done on their end, and that hurts Boston, and then Minnesota is able to move on with their win. So,
I mean, the Boston lost in regulation and Ottawa won, huh?
yep,
That sucks.
it was a perfect storm, unfortunately for the Fleet, who didn't make it, and then the Sirens had already been eliminated, and they did earn enough points, the draft points or whatever it is that they call them, part of the gold plan, where they did secure the first pick in each round of the draft. So yeah, they did get the first overall. Unfortunately, another season without playoffs for New York, but a lot of success they had. Fillier, I think, was one of the best point scorers. She was the first overall
Yeah.
pick in this past draft. So a lot to be excited about there. And then now we have the playoff series are underway. Well, the first one is the Frost are down 3-1 heading into the third period in Toronto, and then the Montreal Ottawa series will is that tomorrow?
I believe so,
Okay.
but I could be
So
wrong.
we do guarantee a Canadian franchise in the finals, which didn't happen last year. Both of the Canadian teams lost in kind of devastating fashion, and
Maybe that's why they picked them.
all of the series were upsets. So last go around. So I don't know if that's going to happen again this year. So far, Toronto's looking good, although they looked good last time and then they blew it. So yeah, you never know.
You never know. Yeah, in this game, number 77 for Minnesota, the one who scored to make it 3-1, got game misconduct for elbowing, and that's why Toronto was on a 5-minute power play at the end of this period.
Mm.
So they're looking pretty strong at the moment.
Damn. I don't
For
really
the
know. I don't really
Scepters.
know who I'm pulling for. Like, I guess I'll just pull for
Charge!
Ottawa, like just because of Owen.
Yeah, go
Like, the
Charge!
Fleet and the Sirens are both out, or not in it. So, and I don't know. I don't think I could root for Toronto. The Frost did win
Or
last
Montreal.
year, so give it to somebody else. And then it's like, yeah, I guess I like the Victoire jerseys. Like, they're pretty damn
Can't
good.
root for Montreal either, though.
I know. So that's why I find
Team has the
myself with
most
the Ottawa
Argent
Charge.
players.
Uh, yeah, I don't know.
That's a good question. That would
That's
be
what
who
I'm
to
rooting
root for.
for.
I know
Uh,
we have a. Oh, we traded Savannah Harmon. We had a couple. I think we might only have one now.
I know
I'm sure you
New
can look that
York
up
had
somewhere.
at least a couple. Rip. Yeah, we'd have to look at the
What
Shelton?
team's
at the
Lauren
rosters.
Gable on?
Gable's on the Fleet, I think.
Is she?
I thought
I
she
think so.
I thought she was with the
Because
Scepters,
Ella,
but
Ella
maybe
Shelton, Savannah Harmon, Lauren Gable, Jinsey Rose, I think, also.
Elizabeth Gigier. Is
Oh,
she? I
Giger. Yep,
think
yep.
she's in too.
Still
But
trying
I
to figure
think
it out.
I think it's Toronto. with Renata Fast, Erica Howe, Emma Keenan, and Savannah Harmon.
Maybe I don't want to root for them.
Okay. I wonder if I just type in 24-25 alums in that same link if it will just work. Oh, no, I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have the specific which team data, but 143 NCAA alumni are in the PWHL. They represent 34 schools. 12 have 5 or more players. Ohio State and Wisconsin, 15 each. Minnesota Duluth, 13. Clarkson, 12. Northeastern, 11. Quinnipiac, 10. And that's for this 24-25 season. Fillier played for Princeton in the ECAC.
No, I didn't know that. So, yeah, I guess I'll still just root for the Charge. I don't know. Dean, maybe we'll find out later what the actual number is. I don't know if we'll be able to get that or not, but we couldn't seem to quickly find the stats on
That's okay.
Clarkson breakdown per team. I guess I can't say I'm too surprised that that's not readily available, although I thought that
heck?
the site would have it. Like, would have the colleges that they went to if they did. But yeah, I guess we'll see. Those are best of 5 series, and it's just, the 2 rounds. So those ones usually, will wrap up pretty quickly. But they are fun to watch, and it was a great inaugural playoff season last year with all the upsets, and of course looked like the Minnesota team had won to win the cup, and then the goal gets taken back, and then the Fleet end up winning the game and bringing it back to Boston, and then they lose in Game 5. So that one was a tough one, but still, yeah, really fun, and we'll see what things look like, beyond tonight.
Yeah, excited for the Charge game.
And
all the playoff hockey I have to look forward to.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's the end of the road for Owen, and Dean's got really nobody left except for the Oilers. Kind of.
Yay.
Kind of got the Oilers.
Got playoff hockey to enjoy.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, honestly,
it is really fun, when your team is out. Obviously, you don't want to see them lose, but it's like it can still be fun to watch just some no pressure, especially like the later games. Like, of course, any elimination game, it's gonna be, you really should be tuning in, and then Game 7s, it's like, oh, I gotta see what's going on there.
Yeah.
Also, like, when the Bruins are in the playoffs, if they lose in the first round, I normally need like a break. Like, I normally don't watch until the finals. Like, I'll watch maybe a little of the third round, but like going in not having a team, it's like, I'll just watch whatever. I'll watch all the hockey.
But I don't see personally how it makes a difference if the Bruins got eliminated.
Because I'm sad and don't want to watch hockey for a little bit.
Hockey made me sad, and I don't want to think about it.
It's just the Bruins, but they're gone. You're not gonna get sad again.
No, but you gotta look at I need a week to go down the internet rabbit hole of all the reasons why we either will or won't win.
It was the coach's fault.
Yeah.
Man, you guys are built different. I'm just like, we lost. That's it. Like
I'm still watching playoff hockey.
Well, I mean, yeah. I see what you're saying. Okay.
I don't care.
Yeah. Whatever. Still fun. Still fun to watch. Yep, and yeah, you're in a different position a little bit. Why don't we, since we alluded to it earlier, we'll talk about the draft lottery, which is just on Monday, and
very exciting.
They debuted a new format this time, the live ball dropping rather than the pre-recorded, and then they reveal the cards in reverse order leading up to the first overall. So instead, you just basically right off the rip find out who's going to be drafting first overall, and it was pretty fun.
I liked it.
If you didn't know really what was going on with the process, like they tried to explain it. There were some videos, I don't know if you guys saw that, like weird AI
Right.
animation video.
I said that to you guys. That
Yeah.
was disgusting.
I wasn't happy that they did that, but I was happy that they at least did tell people what was going on.
They tried.
And the amount of information that was available, like having a list available to the public with all of the combinations, it's like that's cool. Like to see all like it was a little bit hard to track. I was kind of trying to follow who was still alive during the broadcast. I probably could have done it a couple of easier ways than how I was trying to do it, but it was still fun to be tracking. And they had like eliminations for the teams as soon as like they didn't have any possible combinations left. Like, yep, the first number gets drawn. I think it was like a 7, and it's like, oh, okay, 4 teams are dead.
How great. Yeah, you're out.
Like, yep, sorry, you guys aren't gonna make it. I thought it was pretty fun, and then the outcome, of course, was completely
Not
bonkers.
Yeah. Pretty wild.
With
We should have had Zane on for this episode.
I know he's on that Connecticut
He's in
trip.
Connecticut. Yeah, he's Fun Day or whatever.
It's Fun Week.
Fun Week in Connecticut.
Yeah.
No one's ever said that before. Our resident Islanders fan. Pretty crazy. They dropped from 11 to 1
10.
or 10 to 1. 10 to 1. As far as you can drop, right? To get down
You can
into
move
the
up
first
10,
place.
10 spots, yeah.
It was wild. The whole time.
And
the
Utah
whole time.
also won.
And then Utah won the second place pick, which they weren't able to because the Mammoth dropped from 14 to 4.
Yep. So they advanced in a huge way, and that completely changes the strategy going in. Like 14th to 4, that's huge, especially in this draft class. Like they're gonna get a great player at 4. So yeah, the Sharks are gonna end up drafting at 2nd. So despite getting the 2nd overall pick, they aren't considering that a draft lottery, which is again why the Blackhawks were eligible to win the lottery this year, because the same thing happened with the Celebrini draft where I don't remember who it was that ended up moving up. Maybe it was the Flyers. I can't remember who it was that moved up, but they ended up. Maybe it was the Devils, but they still get the second pick, and they don't consider it a win. So the Sharks will be eligible to win next year, same as Chicago was this year. So a little kind of caveat, and hopefully, again, the Sharks fans are hoping that they don't end up in that same scenario. But the Islanders ended up winning it, and they were not very. It was 3.5%. So that's
anything can happen.
The belly of the beast. So pretty fun.
That was pretty exciting.
You like how they did it? You want them to keep doing it this way now with the?
I think it's way more fun personally.
You can't. I don't think you can go back.
I think the one thing I would change is I didn't like how when they did they had the 3 balls and then they showed the board of the probabilities of who's left, and then
the
they
commercial
pan back. No, well, the commercial, that's fine. Build suspense, whatever, do your thing. But then they pan to just showing the final ball, but if you don't remember the number, they don't have the board up. So why don't you do a split screen?
Split,
So as soon as you see the ball, I can look over and be like, oh, that's the team, because they grabbed the ball, put it in, did the whole thing, and I'm like, oh, what team was it? What team was it?
Both times we were like, is that this? Is that them?
I couldn't believe that I remembered both of the numbers. I was like, oh my god, 13.
Okay.
That's the Islanders.
I can absolutely believe that Brendan remembered both the numbers. Knowing Brendan, that's some stuff you would remember.
All right. And then I saw the 3 for Utah. I was like, oh my god, that's Utah. That's crazy.
No way.
And you guys were like, wait, is that true? What is it? Because it wasn't verified yet until they flipped it.
Yeah.
It's like,
and I guess the other thing is after
I wouldn't mind keeping that or changing
they did the second pick person first, and then they interviewed whoever that was while they were picking the balls in the background.
Oh, that was why do we need to do the interview with the director of player scouting? Yeah, I don't remember his name.
Before or after, not at the same time as they're picking the next set.
Right.
Yeah, you can either just wait a little. I mean, I can't see how they didn't have enough time in the half-hour block where they could, they needed to overlap those two things. Like, don't totally save the interview for afterwards, or wait until it's done and then start the second one. So overall, yeah, some notes for improvement for next time. But I think if they improve on that format, it will be a lot of fun, and maybe we'll see another league do that. It's actually been surprising over the last like 5 or so years how many innovative ideas the NHL has brought in that have actually been pretty successful, and I think some other leagues are looking at replicating. So yeah, good on the league. I think there was pretty good reception. Yeah, again, some tweaks though for next time. And don't have it so late either, because we were waiting.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Not late in the night.
Oh.
Late in the normally they don't wait this long to do it.
See, I said it when we were watching it. I disagree. I think it would be fun if it happened on draft night.
No, not this again.
I think it would be fun. I think the teams have to just you have to prioritize best overall, and I feel like you scout all the players. You scout generally your range, right? Unless you drop 11 spots or whatever, 10 spots. But it adds, like, I don't know, an extra level of suspense to it. But they want as many events that they can broadcast, so they're not gonna do that.
Yeah, among other issues. Like, I don't think general managers and owners would be too thrilled about their club suddenly not having a ton of prep time with where their pick is at to make a realistic game plan. Like, all of a sudden my GM has to decide on the day, like, okay, like, we know obviously they've scouted all of these players, but it's like, whoa, now it's like,
I don't think it would have
real.
that big of an effect because you're going into it like who you're picking at each position, and it's like already if you're picking 7th or whatever, you have a plan, but like it depends on who the first 6 guys that get picked are.
Yeah, no,
Right.
it's true.
So it already happens where it's like the guy you're gonna pick is taken right before you, and then you have your backup plan. Like,
Yeah.
so I don't think it
Right.
would actually make that big of a difference as far as like what players end up getting picked where.
So I guess what's your gripe with them doing it like that then, Dean? The waiting?
I just want to know sooner.
Yeah.
And also, like, why not just have 2 events?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give something for the clubs a little early rather than just watching the playoffs without their team.
Right.
Of course, then if you don't win the lottery, then you're just pissed for
Yeah,
a while.
nothing. Yeah.
But that was already going to happen anyways. So, yeah. Overall, pretty fun. We'll see what they do next time. And we'll see what the Islanders do. Hagens is from the island. He grew up as an Islanders fan. I think some fans and analysts are saying it doesn't necessarily make the most sense to draft Hagens with that pick just because of the type of player that Schaefer is projected to be. Like, it'll be tough to pass up on that. But I mean, it would be a great story, of course, to have Hagens. We'll see. It's not Lou anymore, so I wonder how that changes the game plan. If maybe they wouldn't have gone for the fun story with the old regime, and maybe now they're like, well, maybe it's not the best decision theoretically on paper, because of the player that Schaefer could be, but I think Hagens could still be the best forward in that draft class, and it would be fun to have the hometown kid come home.
Yeah, earn some points with the fans.
Yeah, they didn't make the playoffs this year. They squeaked in past couple of seasons, so they haven't really had a dynamic player to build around, and this is going to be, huge for
no matter who they
accelerating that timeline. Like,
yeah,
they have not really drafted highly too often. They drafted Tavares first overall, and they had DiPietro in 2000.
Wasn't Barzal pretty high though?
He was high. I can't remember if we
7?
said what it was. I think maybe he was around there, 7, 5, something like that.
Something like that.
So yeah, that's great for them. I think we mentioned it on the stream when we were watching that it was one of the most neutral picks as far as like how other fan bases would react to them winning over the Sharks winning again, the Blackhawks winning again, Bruins or Penguins accelerating their brand new rebuilds. Penguins have been in it for like a little bit longer, but still, it would be tough to see the Penguins win it just like the Blackhawks did.
Yeah.
The Flyers too. A lot of people would have been upset. So, yeah, I think there's definitely teams that don't like the Islanders, but overall, I think it was one of the less crazy picks, and not many people hate Utah either. So them moving up, it's really just the teams that could have that didn't, that they're like, it should have been us and not you. But everyone's gonna do that.
Totally.
And I guess we did talk about it, but just
Speaking
today,
of Utah.
the Utah Hockey Club is no longer, the king is dead. Bless up, because
Yay.
it's the Utah Mammoth officially. We did see the YouTube leak. We were talking about that last week, where they changed their name accidentally on a couple of social media platforms, and then said, we will be revealing soon. And then I wonder if they were going to wait until the draft, and then this came out and they're like, we got to pivot, we got to just drop it. Like, we can't have this lingering. Yeah.
The video they dropped was very cool.
The video was cool. We got to see a bunch of new logos and all of that, which we can share. I have the tweet
right
up.
here.
Yep. So the logo was, I think that was the one that they ended up showing fans for the like in arena vote, or at least it was a similar design that they tweaked and perfected, which is pretty cool. I don't know. What do you guys think about the new primary logo? We'll just start there, because we already were talking about the Mammoth name.
Got the mountains in there. It's pretty cool.
Got the mountains. Got the Utah state shape in there too, which is a popular trend. I like doing that. And then they also said the U in the tusk, which, like, okay, it's kind of a stretch, but sure. Overall, though, I think it's pretty good. It's obviously a major improvement over the hockey club logo and the Utah word mark, although they are still using the Utah word mark on their away jersey.
They're updating it a little bit.
Yes. So the jerseys update a little bit. Oh, yeah, the lettering is now their new design font. It was like Mammoth Sands or something like that. I can't remember what it was called. But they're going with that. And then they also...
The state shape was in the primary logo?
Say again, Dean?
Did you say that the shape of the state was in the primary logo too?
Yes, it's in the in the top point of the, or not the top point, but the leftmost point of the mountains. You can see like in the corner there. Maybe you can't see.
I'm not seeing it.
Do you know what the shape of Utah is?
Yeah, because
Let's
I'm looking
start
at
there.
The other logo.
It's tilted.
No, it's tilted, and the bottom is cut out jagged, but it has the outline of the top of the state of Utah.
The top, yeah. It's got most of it.
It's a little...
That's more of a stretch than the Tusk U.
I don't know about that.
They're both a stretch. I think the logo's cool. I think the colors are okay.
Yeah, again, I have been disappointed with the colors since they were revealed, just because I really don't need... we don't need any more blue. Like, we need something else.
Ugh,
obviously,
boring.
the purple was talked about for a while, with the Jazz connection too, because they just had switched to some purple jerseys, and it seemed like it would be a good tie-in. So that was disappointing, but I think what they have still looks pretty good. They are switching up the striping, like the striping between the home and aways are distinctly different. They also have now the shoulder patch on the aways is the primary logo.
Okay.
And in the neckline, they have established 2024. I think that's pretty much everything. So they have a couple new logos. They've got the new font again. They've got the U with like the tusk kind of cutting through it.
Yeah.
And
That's
then
I think it's
the
more like
home
a college
jerseys.
vibe, that one.
Yeah, it is a little college. I have to agree
I like the one
because
with the full Utah though better.
Yeah.
yeah, with
The
the
Utah.
font and the slant there. And then they have
Definitely looks a lot
the
better.
updated third logo that was the Utah outline, and now it has like the little stick inside it, which
Yeah,
is
that's nice too.
fine. It's like probably my least favorite part of the new home jerseys is that shoulder patch, but
Yeah.
overall
Number
they did pretty good.
15 with 15 minutes left in the game, more or less. Anton Lundell ties it up.
Nice.
3-3.
Now I get to watch it. Here we go. It's gonna
Yep.
happen.
Pay
And
attention, Dean.
and the Frost
I'm
had
watching.
scored, so they're down 2-3 with
Oh,
8 minutes to
backdoor
go.
tap in.
Back door, off the skates, to the stick, shovels it in.
Speaking of backdoor tap-ins, you know who almost got one? Me.
Dean! Are we into Summer Series now?
We are. Game one was actually during the Avalanche Game 7.
Oh, tough.
I left to go to the game when it was still 0-0 at the commercial break right before the first goal got scored. So I got to the rink and obviously they had it on like at the bar and stuff, and there were people watching. And then in the locker room there were like 7 or 8 phones of the the game. Like everyone was watching. We had like 3 phones on the bench during the game. So yeah, it's very very involved within. So I did see a lot of the game, I guess.
You kind of saw it, yeah.
Yeah. This is the first one. I just toss it on net, hits the post, and then
Oh,
it's
that is
just
almost a
sitting on the
backhanded
goal
goal.
line here,
Oh,
and I jam it in, but no goal because if you go back and see how the puck ended up there, my teammate makes a nice play on the puck, but then may have accidentally kind of cross-checked that guy.
oh.
There was a penalty, so that goal gets waved off. But then they had just scored, by the way. But I actually win a face-off, which I never do. Get the
You're always
puck,
doing well.
dangle.
Oh. Oh.
That's pretty dirty.
Around. That was the only guy playing defense. The other 3 guys just kind of watched me.
Yeah.
But yeah. So first
That's from
goal.
pretty far out, too.
Yeah, I'm a sniper. What can I say? It wasn't even. It was just like middle left. It wasn't even actually.
It didn't have a
good
lot of
shot.
heat on it.
Would have beat Petriqua
Oh,
or
for
Carey
sure.
Price or whoever we shot against.
On the simulator, maybe. And then we had another goal called back. So off the face-off, we got clear the puck down. So we got this ref calling icing. This ref, gonna blow his whistle, waves it off. So
Why?
then he's all alone. Puck's right there, still
Why does
waving
wave
it off. And then scores. He even calls it a goal, and then they're like, "Oh, by the way, that should have been icing." So these guys all thought it should have been.
Yeah, clearly.
So we had
Oh my
2
god.
goals, 2 goals waved off that game, and
Dang.
wouldn't have really mattered. We lost 7-3,
Oh.
and we have. It's funny. So we had
Rough
3
start.
different goal scorers and 2 different players with assists. So we have 5 players with 1 point on the season,
Nice.
Is that something?
and that's where we're at.
Well, we're excited to be back in. It's summer season for Dean's Den, and
Yep.
we'll see what the summer music is. If it's the same,
Well, I
probably.
spent too long finding that. It'll just be the same.
Yeah, I'm just joking.
That's fair.
That was good. Some interesting
Dean's
moments,
Den.
and that's classic lower league officiating every once in a while.
Yeah.
Come through.
Top tier hockey.
Yep.
Primo stuff going on there. Do we want to cover the rest of the tidbits from the league?
The last two things. Rob Blake is out as the Kings GM. And I can't see what this says because Owen's name's covering it. Sends let go AGM Ryan bonus.
Last of the Pierre Dorian hires.
So we can start with the Rob Blake news.
Yeah.
I guess it's not too surprising. Another first round exit for the Kings. There were talks about last year if he would stay, and he did. So here we are a year later, and he's gone.
He had been around for a while too, so
Yeah.
Just feel that surprising.
four consecutive losses to the same, franchise. That's gonna be the end of that. Like, you've had time, and they really didn't show up. So I think a lot of Kings fans are happy with that. We'll see. I think there were a lot of fans also calling for Jim Hiller to be let go. So definitely a lot of upcoming change for the Kings, and we'll see who they bring back in. I think Mark Bergevin is in the conversation. There's a couple other names floating around out there. There's a lot of vacancies for both general managers and head coaches right now, so it should be fun for the offseason there too. And
it's exciting to see where it all gets shuffled around to.
no real concerns from you, Owen, about the bonus firing, I assume.
In my mind, it's he's really good. I think it's more of he doesn't have a spot to advance here in Ottawa. It doesn't seem like Steve wants to give up GM and just stay Poho. Like, I guess it makes sense that he wants to control the whole ship, top and bottom, and whatever. Works for
Yeah.
me. I'm certainly not upset about him and his performance yet.
Yeah, we'll see how long that lasts. What do they call him? Steady Steve, or there was?
Steady Steve.
Yeah.
Yep, Steady Steve.
I did see that. Yeah, and Lauer had a letter to the Ottawa Senators, and he mentioned Ottawa Gatineau intentionally a couple times. They're trying to get a little bit of that market too.
Yeah, I mean, we're the only bilingual team. We try and really make that a priority when trying to get some of the Quebecers on the other side of the Ottawa River.
I mean, I would
Over
say
in
that
Gatineau.
Montreal is two language as well. I mean, all of their tweets
I
are
think
in
they're
French and
French.
English.
Yeah, but that's just I feel like they're French, but they're nice, so they put it in English. But really, they'd rather just be French.
Well, that may be true, but that's not what they do.
But I don't like Montreal.
Oh, there it is. There's the root. Dug it up.
I don't like them.
Finally, I found it. Yeah.
It
No,
wasn't hiding
that's
very
all right.
deep.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't a tough dig.
No. Other news: former St. Louis Blue Torrey Krug is done.
Current
Never
St.
played
Louis
anywhere
Blue.
else.
I mean, we could say it
Well,
that
not
way.
anymore.
He's still signed with the team. I mean, let's hold on a second here.
Yeah, so their GM, Doug Armstrong, said that he does not expect Torrey Krug to play again due to injury. He's only just getting back to normal day-to-day living. So, because he had like an ankle, he broke his ankle, and then I think kept playing with it. Had like degenerative arthritic conditions, I guess, and then he had his ankle
Dang.
fused or something. So his whole thing.
Jeez.
But I mean, he had a good career. Obviously, played a long time in Boston, and he was undrafted. So to be able to be a defender on the smaller side and have that much success, like he was always a fun player to watch. Maybe not if you ask Zach Spears, but
Or Blues fans for pretty much
or
his
Blues
whole
fans.
time there. He really did not
I was
have
I
the
was
same
sad to see
game.
him go, but like once they signed that contract, like even that contract, I'm like, oh, we could have paid him that, but like it worked out in our favor, and I guess the injury. I mean, he's been on LTIR, but I guess the injury will also help for Blues cap situation. But yeah, just
Yep.
sucks to see because I mean he's not an old guy. He
No.
is how old is he? Brendan, you're good with ages. How old is he?
He's getting up there. He's like 33.
30. Let's say 6.
34.
Damn.
I was thinking, yeah, around there. Yeah, probably done. So hopefully he has a good life beyond his hockey career. I mean,
Yeah.
he's made
Yeah.
Full
tens of
recovery.
millions of dollars, so he'll be okay.
Yeah, I
He'll
think
probably be fine.
there's lots of worse situations to be put in. So, best of luck to him in what is likely to be a retirement announcement. I guess we'll get word from him in his camp, but yeah,
Or
that's too
maybe
bad.
an insider will break it on Twitter first.
Yeah, well, we've never seen anything like that before.
No, they're always very patient,
No,
very
they
polite.
very respectful. Yeah. What do you think, guys? Wrap her
I
up
think
for this week.
that's a fantastic homage to Gabrielle Landeskog for our episode 92.
Think
Yep.
so. We'll just say subscribe here on YouTube if you haven't done so. We are still looking to hit that 100 mark. Again, it's getting a little bit tougher now, but please share. It's the critical time of the season, so we're looking to get those numbers up too, just like the teams are with their wins. And you'll follow us on our social platforms and all that good stuff. Like, comment, What else? Anything else? I think that's
Ring the bell. Ring the bell.
yes. Ring the
Yeah.
bell.
I feel like it's weird to say like, comment, but not subscribe at the end. I feel like it has to be like the
Yeah.
phrase.
I should. I
Like,
mean,
comment, and subscribe.
I had
Don't forget
already
to ring
said
the
it, so
bell.
I didn't feel like I
No,
needed to
Comment to
reiterate.
help the algorithm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if it does
Follow us
anything,
on
yeah,
Blue Sky.
that would be great. Yeah, Blue Sky, we're there. Um, send us an email. Send us a voicemail too. We have not
Yeah.
I'll give you
received
Brendan's
those in a
personal
while.
phone number.
We won't be doing that, but we will see
I
you
will.
guys
If you
next
reach out
week.
on Blue Sky, I'll give it to you.
Do not follow Owen Curry on Blue Sky. All right, take care, everybody.
Yeah.
Good night.
Shalom.
I want a $4 puck. Oh well.
You don't get a if you want a $44 puck though.
I could get one of those.